Hello everyone, I'm Bumi and welcome back to another Idle Kingdom Defense video. Today we will be taking a look at King's Ruins. Yes, this is a complete guide to King's Ruins. So first, what is King's Ruins? Well, it's basically one of your daily tasks that you can do, which will give you a lot of good rewards. Yes, King's Ruins is comprised of 15 different stages. 5 of them you cannot sweep. And in total, you will receive up to 2,000 rubies. You can also use up to 5 free buffs, as you can see here, which is the Archer attack speed, hero attack damage, and decrease in enemy movement speed. You will also receive 1 free heal per day, but you get to heal up to 5 times. Now I will be explaining that later and the buffs here. Now, like I just said, you will receive 1 free heal, and each subsequent heal will cost you 300 rubies, and it will increase with 300 per heal up to 5 times, so that would be 300, 600, 900, and 1,200 rubies. So the last part I'm not really sure, because I haven't tried using up all 5 heals at any stage, but going by the succession of how the prices increase, I'm very confident that it is 1,200. So your King's Ruins Castle HP will be dependent on your castle level, since it has the same HP as your actual castle. So if we take a look here, yes, our current castle has 21,90,000, so that's basically 2,190,000 plus. And if you take a look at our ruins, it's exactly 2,190,350. With update 1.1.16, you will also get rune sweep tickets. This will basically let you pass a stage without having to fight the mobs in it. So you will get this in the new astrology. You will have to gamble some of your currency here and hope that you get it. It's the yellow one with the crown here. And yes, it is very important that you finish all 15 stages every day, because this will count towards your main quest rewards. As you can see here, I have completed 38 King's Ruins, and you can probably dismiss the rubies, but it's always good to get. But the main goal here is to get the free Ascension Stones. When you do King's Ruins, you will also receive Ruins coins. If you haven't already checked out, you can spend these on the general store here in the Rune shop, where you can buy designs and a 3-star and 4-star hero. Now, as you can see, I've already bought my 4-star hero right here. I would not suggest getting any of the designs, since you don't get a lot of rune coins. I would suggest saving them for your 3-star and 4-star heroes in case you really need those heroes. Your King's Ruin pattern depends highly on what stage you're in right now. So I will show you an image of what we have found out to be the pattern. I have tested this out. If you haven't seen my last King's Ruins test videos, you can go ahead and check those out. And I can confirm that the pattern stays the same as long as you follow certain things when it comes to progressing your stages. So big thanks to Gimp and Reki21 over on the unofficial Discord for figuring out a pattern, as well as the mobs, and for providing this visual for us to see. Now, when it comes to the pattern, you will see that we have it numbered from 1 to 14. That basically means it follows this exact set of mobs when you face your King's Ruins. Now, you might wonder, King's Ruins has 15 stages and we only see 14 patterns. That's because the first set of mobs that you encounter will be the same set of mobs that you encounter for your 15th stage on King's Ruins. I would suggest looking for a set of mobs to start with that is very easy. In that way, you can make your last stage secure, and you don't run the risk of losing the last one and having to heal. So for my particular case, I am getting, well, my first stage is getting pattern number 8. This is what I call the small waves of units. How the pattern works is dependent on what stage you recently beat in your normal progression stages. So if we take a look at here, if you go to repeat battle and check out the last stage that I beat, I am currently on stage 6610. So the last one would be 6609. If we take a look at the enemies, I basically have the dogs, the skellies, and the goblins. So if we take a look at our pattern again, it is wave or pattern number 1. That would mean that if you're looking at the whole pattern image right now, that would mean my starting wave for King's Ruins would be pattern number 8. That goes the same all across the lines, meaning if you ended your regular stages on pattern number 2, your first stage on King's Ruins, first and last stage on King's Ruins will be pattern number 9, and so on and so forth. And then it will follow the subsequent enemies as you see them on the pattern. Now, like I said, my current pattern would be pattern number 8. Then my second stage on Ruins will be the Ballistas. Next would be the Ogres. So we will go ahead and see that later on. Now, the good folks over on the unofficial Discord server has figured out that if you progress your stages in multiples of 14, let's say you found a good pattern for your King's Ruins, all you have to do is progress your stages in multiples of 14 and you will keep the same pattern during the next reset. What I mean by that is, say for example, on my stage 6610, if I progress 14 stages, that would be 6624. That would mean that I would get the same pattern on King's Ruins as I did today. Now, how do I know which pattern I will be choosing? Like I said, you have your correlating patterns. All you need to do is check at the last stage that you beat on which wave it is. Say for example, you beat the enemies with the dogs, the archer, and the guy with the axe. That would be pattern number 4. That will mean that your first and last stage will be the dogs, the skellies, and the slime. And this is the same vice versa. And you need to make sure to check the last set of enemies that you beat and go ahead and progress however many stages you need to ensure that you get an easy pattern for your King's Ruins. Now, I can't recommend you which pattern to select simply because it depends on your current level. It depends on your hero levels and ascensions, so you will have to decide which is easiest for you. Okay, so let's demonstrate the patterns here. Like I said, I am on pattern number 8, meaning I should get the small waves of small units on my first stage of King's Ruins. And as you can see, we're getting the goblins, the guy on axes, and the guys with spears. So for me, this is a relatively easy pattern to follow. So like I said, follow whichever pattern you see is the easiest for your team. So if we go ahead and check, our next pattern would be pattern number 9, which is the Ballistas. Okay, so I'm gonna pause it right here because I know that this particular stage is going to be rough for me. So one tip that you can do whenever you face a very strong stage that you feel like you're gonna lose or at least take so much HP off your castle, you can go ahead and pause. Now you have to do this before the end screen appears, whether you've been defeated or you were victorious. So you can pause it and leave it. It doesn't matter how much damage your castle has taken, as long as the stage hasn't ended yet, it will not affect your overall progress. So let's go ahead and test the sweep. Like I said, you will need rune sweep tickets to be able to sweep a stage, a particularly difficult stage here in King's Ruins, and it will allow you to skip all those enemies. You don't need to fight them, your castle doesn't take damage, and everything is all good. But, like I said before, you cannot sweep megalithic ruins. The megalithic ruins are the ones that offer rubies. So for these set of stages, mine in particular, this should be an ogre wave. Ogre waves are particularly easy simply because you can stun lock them, which I will be showing right now. So for this particular wave, I usually take over control of my Evan so that I can make sure that all the ogres are stun locked at the edge of the screen. There, I will just keep them stun locked there until my archers have enough time to whittle them down and kill them. Okay, here we go. Now, if you remember the next one on our patterns, it should be a small wave of dogs. Now, I know dogs are very bad for your castle. So if you can see here, it is a scatter wave of skellies, dogs, and slimes. I know this wave is going to be particularly terrible for my castle, so I'm going to pause and leave. It will mitigate all the damage done, and I will simply sweep. Now, we talked about the heal earlier. Here, your first heal will always be free, but I do not recommend you to heal whenever your castle still has HP. Even if you're just running 1000 HP left, just do the wave and see how far you go. Because, say for example, you lost a stage. You go and heal. And then once you heal, the stage will start where you left off, essentially. So let's say you have 10 seconds left before the boss arrives and you lost. The stage will start at 10 seconds after you heal. Now, buffs. Buffs are, well, aside from the 5 free buffs, it will cost 30 rubies. And remembering how much the heal costs, it might be better for you to purchase buffs instead to, let's say for example, your King's Ruins stage was particularly close and you managed to leave before you got defeated and had to heal. You might want to purchase a couple of buffs, say 2 buffs to increase your troops or whatever. Now the buffs are unfortunately random, so it has to depend on your luck which one you get, but all of them are particularly helpful. So yeah, it might benefit you to save on rubies to just buy a couple of buffs rather than heal. That is completely up to you. Now, talking about buffs, you can actually stack up your buffs for your next day King's Ruins. I will show you more of that after I've finished all 15 stages, so I'm gonna go ahead and do that now, and I'll get back to you. Yes, as you can see here, we got our first defeat on a stage. So we had around 1 second left on before the boss comes out. I think that will go up to 10 seconds. So let us use our first free heal. And when you return back to the stage, it should come back up to 10 seconds, 13 seconds, okay. It's a dog wave, so it was particularly hard. Okay, now that we're on our last ruin stage, this is the same set of mobs as we had for our first stage, so I can be assured that this is going to be an easy stage for me and a guaranteed King's Ruins completion. And that is it. King's Ruins complete. Now let's talk about some tips and tricks to make it easier for you. So first, don't ever forget that if you feel like you're not gonna finish a stage, don't forget that you can always pause and leave without any consequence before the stage ends. So you need to do this before your castle HP reaches 0. And that will reset all the damage done and get you back to where you started before starting that particular stage. And if you're having trouble finishing a stage and you don't want to spend the rubies on healing your castle and you don't have any sweep tickets that you can use, it might be a good option for you to use up all your free buffs or some of your free buffs to strengthen your heroes or your archers or slow down your enemies to ensure that you get a victory. Or, like I said, buffs are cheaper than heals. Heals cost 300 to start, then it raises up by 300 per heal, up to 4 times. But buffs only cost you 30 rubies, and that will significantly increase your damage output. Sweep tickets. You need to have sweep tickets on the ready just in case, because like I said, it is very important that you finish your King's Ruins every day so that it will count towards your quest progress. You have the chance to get sweep tickets in the astrology using 5 different coins, so be sure to take advantage of that and hope that you get a lot of spare sweep tickets so that you can always make sure that you will finish your King's Ruins. Now, next day buffs. Say for example you're like me. You finished all your King's Ruin stages without having the need to use buffs. Now, it doesn't have to go to waste. You can get them, all 5 free buffs. As you can see here, I have 2 archer attack speed buffs, 2 hero attack buffs, and 1 enemy movement speed decrease buff. Now, this will carry over tomorrow. What that means is I get to use these buffs for tomorrow's stage 1. That will make it a lot easier and ensure that I clear that with no additional problems. And that is it. That is all you need to know about King's Ruins. Again, Thank you so much to everyone who has helped contribute on figuring out the stages. Special thanks to the people over on the Discord server. I will have them linked down in the description below, so I would highly suggest that you join us over there so that we can all have fun times together. We have a lot of different strategies there and very helpful people that can help you out if you're struggling finishing a stage or completing a certain daily quest. Just leave us a message there and we'll do our best to help you out. We also have a couple of cheat sheets there available to use so that you can just do a quick glance at those. You don't need to do the math when it comes to most of the stuff in the game, especially when it comes to knowing how many shards you'll need to ascend a hero or how much it costs. Everything is in there, and the good people over at the Discord server keep the data updated as long as there's new data coming in, and a lot of them are also researching more and more data about the game to make sure that we have all the free data that we can use. So that's gonna be it for me today, guys. Link to my Twitter is down in the description below. Go ahead and check it out if you want to. And if you're new here and enjoyed the video and find it helpful, don't forget to leave a like. Let me know your thoughts on the video down in the comment section below and consider subscribing. We are trying to get up to 1,000 subs this year, so hopefully you can help me out with that. And once again, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Bye!